Hey, it's Jason. Welcome back to Hardy Brothers Outdoors. It is late March here in Southeast Ohio, and I am down at the Habitat Oasis planning on doing some work. Spring break is next week for my son. He is headed to Florida with his mom for the week. Josh and Kelly are headed off on vacation, so I'm here for the week by myself with a long list of projects to work on. Getting ready to go out. I planted some switchgrass over the winter, getting ready to go out and spray it with simazine. And I've got, what else is on my list? I've got about 100 trees I'm planting in the next week. I've got apple trees that could use some pruning. It seems like there's a number of other things. The list is long. I got some tree stands I need to pull down, not habitat management related, but just get them out of the tree. So if you're interested in just kind of a whirlwind trip with me as I do some of these projects, hang around. I'm going to head out here in just a few minutes to put the simazine down. When I get out to the switchgrass field, I'll tell you a little bit more about how I planted the switchgrass and what my care plan is for it. So come along with me, and I'll share the information with you. So as I was driving out here, I realized there's probably some of you that are not familiar with what we call the Habitat Oasis Project. The Habitat Oasis Project is a 150-acre property that Josh and I own in Southeast Ohio. It is a reclaimed strip mine. It was strip mined back in the either late 60s, early 70s, and when they reclaimed it, they really left it pretty desolate. So it's not very good habitat, and back in 2019, we decided to really change our approach to the property and start focusing on how we could make it better habitat for wildlife. So I'm standing in the area that I planted switchgrass, and the switchgrass, what I'm doing here is I'm really just creating it looks like, it's about 5 yards wide here, 20 yards wide at the other end. It's just a strip that's going to break up this field. I'm standing on the edge of, I don't know, a field that's probably 4 acres right here where I'm standing, and as you look off into the distance, it's probably a total of 10. And you can stand here, you can see across the entire field. I'll get some video and make sure and show you what it looks like. Here to my left, I've got tree tubes. We've planted some native trees. On the right, we've got some tree tubes and some native trees that are going in there. I mentioned earlier I've got 100 more trees to plant. This is where we're creating some strips. So I'm gonna have a clover field by the woods. I'm going to have some native trees, shrubs, and bushes. Then a small strip, actually there'll be some clover through there, and then I'll have my strip of switchgrass here. On the other side of it will be clover, native trees. Above that is pollinators. Around the edge of some of this is switchgrass as well. So my goal is to break this up so that when deer come into this field, one, we're able to reduce some social pressure. So if I got does feeding down here in the clover and I've got deer up on the hill feeding, they're not necessarily seeing each other or feeling some of that social pressure. I'm also looking to provide some screening that I can use to walk to different areas of the property. So I applied seed here back in, I want to say it was in February that I seeded this at about 10 pounds per acre, so it's pretty thick. And now what I'm applying is the simazine. So from a prep standpoint, this field was sprayed with glyphosate in the fall. It's been sprayed a couple years, so I've eliminated a lot of the plant material here. I seeded in February. Now we're going to do a pre-emergent with the simazine. And I mentioned before, we're doing 20 gallons of water, 3 quarts per acre. So between my strip here and my strips up and around the field, I've got just about an acre. So I'll run this tank empty with the simazine. But it is a pre-emergent. The soil temperatures, and I'm actually going to grab my soil thermometer here in a minute, I will check the temperature, but at this point the switchgrass has not germinated, so it's not going to germinate for probably another month or so, maybe even, I'm going to double check when it germinates. I believe it's closer to the June time frame. In May, once we get a little more green up in here, I will hit it with glyphosate as well. So we're going to hit this with both the pre-emergent and a post-emergent, but we're going to do all of that before the switchgrass emerges. So we'll pay real close attention to soil temperatures and get that taken care of so that my switchgrass has as little competition as possible. So with that, I'm going to do a little bit of spraying, and then I'm going to move on. I guess I'll come back to you after the spraying. We'll talk about some of the tree planting I'm doing, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each one of these things, just sharing what I'm doing and why. So hope this is helpful, and hope you hang around for some more. Okay, so I'm about to do a little tree planting. You can see behind me, I think you can see a number of tubes. Spring of 2020, we ordered 200 and almost 270 bare root trees. Poor planning got us started planting these things, I don't know if it was Memorial Day weekend or first week of June. Definitely too late. When our forester found out we were planting, he asked what in the world we were doing and told us, they're not going to live. We'd actually got quite a few in the ground. Ground was wet. We felt pretty good about the conditions they were being planted in. So we came out to plant some more, and in the week or two between when we started and when I came back, things had dried out and the ground was just hard as can be. So I made the decision to take everything home, put it in pots, and I've got big round pots that I could put 5 or 6 plants in each. Kept them on my back patio all summer. Made sure to keep them watered. They actually did really well on the back patio. December 2020, I decided to try to get some in the ground, and waited on everything to go dormant. And just between hunting and shorter days, I wasn't terribly successful. I got some in the ground. So here we are, a year later, spring 2021, and I'm trying to finish up tree planting. I'm here all week, so they will be in the ground, and I'm just hoping they all do well. In the back of the side-by-side, I brought out 4 different varieties today. We purchased, I want to say, 8 or 10 varieties. We've got, let's see, red dogwood, or gray dogwood, silky dogwood, red osier dogwood, American plum, American hazelnut, Arrowwood viburnum, elderberry, chokeberry, black haw, and buttonbush. So 10 varieties. And the stuff that I picked, I've mentioned that we're on a reclaimed strip mine. Because of that, when I dig down with a shovel, I get about this deep before I hit some pretty nasty stuff. I'm not sure how well stuff will grow. When you look behind me at this field, This field is 40 years old and really hasn't had much done to it. So when you look at it, you ask yourself, what happened to the early successional habitat? We should be, in 40 years, something should have grown up in this field. When you look at in the distance, you can see the autumn olive. There's a few wild cherry in there, but nothing in there up on the hill. That's Josh's 70 acres. That's the front 70 of the Habitat Oasis. That top of the hill wasn't, I don't believe it was strip mined, but everything that was strip mined, we don't have big trees. So planting these, everything I picked has a shallow root system that spreads and is designed to grow anywhere from, I want to say, 3 to 15, maybe 20 feet tall. But I've got the spud bar. I'm going to go ahead and get a few in the ground here and just give a quick demo of kind of how quickly these things go in the ground. So I'm going to mix in what I've got. I brought out chokeberry, gray dogwood, elderberry, and black haw for this evening. So I'm going to go ahead and start planting. All right, I should have mentioned we are tubing them all with Miracle tubes, Miracle tubes, and what was I going to say about them? So we're using Miracle tubes and wooden stakes that we cut with the sawmill. We have had a few of these rot up over the year, had to replace some, but being able to stake them all for free, I'm willing to do a few replacements. But that's it. Just keep hammering away just like that, plopping them in the ground, and I got about 80 more to go this week. So looking forward to getting them in the ground and showing you some videos in the future of how we transform this area. So hang tight. I'm going to do some what am I going to do? Apple tree and pear tree pruning here in a bit. So I'll share that with you as well.